Nintendo Switch 2 sucks. It is a shitty $450 handheld console. $500 if you get the bundle. It's not even in the same league as the Xbox and PlayStation, yet is being compared constantly. Hardware wise, it is objectively the worst console out of the three. Mario Kart World is such a shit game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was much better than this. Garbage. Donkey Kong Bonanza should have been the launch title. I actually had a lot more fun playing it. Nintendo also still charges $60 for games that came out 8 years ago. Holy shit, just drop the prices already, this shit isn't even new anymore. Also, why isn't YouTube available on the Switch 2? They knew that a new console was coming out, so why weren't they prepared for it? Also, the Pro Controller is overpriced as fuck. Who would pay $90 for this controller and say it was worth every penny? They won't even put triggers on the damn thing. It's more expensive than a DualSense controller. Nintendo is also known for abusing the copyright system and also hating their own fan base. Who cares if an out-of-print game is being pirated and played on an emulator? Emulators aren't inherently bad either, because you can use real copies of the games on them. Striking down YouTubers who look up to you is a pretty degenerate thing to do. These multi-billion-dollar companies don't give a shit about copyright infringement. They just want to use their power against innocent people. Piracy actually has a much smaller impact on their revenue stream than they would want you to think. They're just trying to get you to feel bad for the multi-billion-dollar company. Boo-hoo. The CEO will be forced to live a life of only semi-luxury. They can also brick the Switch 2 if they even think you're committing piracy, but in reality you're just migrating games you already owned. This is a problem, because scammers will get their Switch 2 bricked and try selling it on eBay without telling anyone it's bricked. It's like you can spend $500 on this console, but you don't truly own it. This business practice is just peak scumbaggery, and I wish companies didn't force it onto us. We paid for it. We should do whatever the fuck we want with it. I actually got a Nintendo Switch 2 a couple months ago. I have more Switch 1 games than Switch 2 games for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, they are still at 720p, and it looks horrible on the 1080p screen. The console is also a lot bigger than I thought it was, and on top of that, it gets uncomfortable to hold after a while because the Joy-Cons are still flat. It's almost like they did it intentionally, so you would buy the Pro Controller. The original Switch seemed to fit in the hands better, but the Switch 2 is fucking massive. It's almost the same size as the Steam Deck, except that console is more comfortable in the hands because it isn't flat. They give you this crappy grip attachment, and I hate it. It feels so awkward to hold, and I rarely ever use it. I just got a Pro Controller. It's surprisingly comfortable, but not $90 comfortable. Yeah, I sold out. I actually gave Nintendo money for this shit. Guess I won't be paying rent this month. Nah, just playing. I had just enough money to where it wouldn't affect me financially. That's just the unfortunate reality of the future. Inflation is a bitch and the government doesn't care. It also doesn't help that Trump started enacting tariffs on imported goods. All three consoles have been affected by these tariffs. I find it interesting how Trump is always talking about fixing the economy, but he made it worse. Might make a video on him later, but let's just stick to the Switch 2 for right now. All I can say is it's probably too soon to be getting the Switch 2. There are still way more Switch 1 games than Switch 2 games, because newer games take longer to develop. So you can get a Switch 1 and still have a lot of fun with it. Do what you want. Just be aware of the consequences before doing it.